Right, this is a any percent Musou Mode full run, and we're doing it as Xiao. So initially we were going to do a different character, but Xiao was the quickest and she's got the best death element weapon. So just checking I've got everything equipped, pretty much standard setup. You just use red hair, attack buff, reach buff, your best items to help. You run the game on easy and you make sure you turn your bodyguards off. That does affect some later levels when there's more enemies on the screen, so it's always good just to turn them off now. Now the issue here with this first level is it's a level you can't run in free mode, and you also can't use your horse on this because the whole map is boats. So it's similar to the mountain bandit level. You've just got to basically kill the lieutenant commanders and then the commander spawns. Get clipped by a couple of archers there. They are the worst enemies in the game, and especially later levels when you're on your horse and there's just crossbows everywhere, they become a pain. So we're just hunting down the lieutenant commanders, and yeah, it's pretty straightforward this level. So the reason why Xiao is one of the best in the game is her weapon has death elements. In this game, death element does a fixed percentage damage. Well, it does damage based on your current HP. Her 6th combo doesn't just hit once, it hits about 5 or 6 times. So that back to back to back to back can just shred a whole health bar down to less than 10%. Also, it's got a delay between doing the charge attack and the normal string attack, so if the enemy's blocking your normal square combo, sometimes it's worth just throwing her out, because that second delay the enemy lets go and block, and then the charge attack hits the enemy, whereas every other attack was previously being blocked. So she is good with that. Also, she's really fast movement and fast hitting. The only downside is the range, but to be honest, most of the good death element characters have terrible range, so that's why we equipped the reach scroll, just to try and help that out. So we've killed the 2 lieutenant commanders on the east side. We're just moving over to the west side to kill those 2 and spawn the commander. But other than that, pretty straightforward level. First level as well, so the enemies haven't got a lot of defense, it's just clipping them down with a normal combo. So we've got the commander, just a little bit stronger than the lieutenant commanders, but as you can see, landing a death combo there, it just took him down to no health, and then it's just a case of burning him down. Also, before doing any runs, it's worth going into the settings and turning events off, that way you don't get cutscenes loading, because cutscenes do affect in-game time. Also, all these runs we do on beginner because it's the quickest time. So for that map, we did it in 2:21:26, that's not bad. You can average about 2 minutes per map, that's pretty good. Obviously some of the other maps that are quite large will take longer. With her run as well, there's no real events on any of the maps that you've got to trigger to get the final boss to spawn. It's more just a case of rush to the end, beat the boss. The only one that's a bit finicky is Hulao Gate, which is the next map. So once again, turn the bodyguards off, only because where Dongjuo is on this map there's quite a lot of enemies, and you can get it where they don't load in. I think the Nanman map in this run is the worst for that, where Menguo at one point doesn't spawn in, but then a couple of seconds later he does. So if we did have 8 other units present with us at that time, you'd have to kill up a couple of peons to get them to spawn, so it's not worth doing. And then if you kill those peons and it triggers a KO count and you're waiting for an event to trigger, you've got to wait for the KO message to disappear before the event triggers. So this map more or less straightforward as the allies. You just get to the first gate, kill the commanders to open it, rush to Hulao Gate, try and keep the allied commander alive because it's quicker, and then beat Dongjuo. So beat these 2 down nice and quick, but now we're at the mercy of the game, waiting for all the events to scroll across the bottom of the screen. So you want to make sure as well, I don't think there's enough enemies here to do it, but you want to make sure you don't get your kill count to 50, because that's just another event that pops up on screen, so it's a few seconds wasted. Some enemies can appear on the other side of this gate, but you can't hit them through the gate, so it's worth doing that just because as soon as the gate opens, I've had it once where they take a swing and knock you off your horse. And this early on, you want to try to stay on your horse as long as you can because you're not near the end. So with the gate open, it's more or less just a straight rush now to Hulao Gate. Blue Boo pops in, but we're on red here, so it's not really an issue. Get caught on the bollard there, I wasn't really paying attention, so this is a sloppy run, this one, but you know, no one really runs it, so I'll improve it when someone beats it. But other than that, I forgot I had vents turned off. Been used to playing it with the vents turned on, so I was going to go the long way around to try and avoid Blue Boo to stop a cutscene from triggering, but then I realised no need, so go 180, you go the quicker route. But coming up, the main enemies in this game that you need to watch out for, it's archers. So with ranged attack, your defense stat doesn't cover ranged defense. You've got a separate defense stat for that. And playing this map first time on normal difficulty, this little U-bend that comes up, you get loads of archers that spawn in, and it will just shred your health if you don't know what you're looking for. So you get archers up top, and coming through here, not on a horse, as you can see, those arrows barely dodged us when we're on a horse, so running through, you just get clipped by too many arrows, and it's not a good time. But other than that, we didn't get knocked off. If you're running towards archers, try and run at an angle, that way you can dodge the arrows easier. That cutscene or event is an unskippable one for whatever reason, so the quickest strategy here is just to kill all these enemies while the assault captain stays alive, and it stops a general from spawning in, and the gate opens a little bit quicker. Now, what I forgot to do here is there's a group of archers off to the side, and they just pick the assault captain's health apart. If it had any sense, I would have went and got them first, but hey ho. So he's already on half health, I'm thinking it's the enemies here, so in a mad rush trying to kill them, not realising it's archers taking pot shots at him. So, got clipped by them myself, but because my defence is that high, I'm not thinking too much of it, but as you've just seen then, 2 shots and his drops to less than a quarter health. So he just got defeated then, unfortunately, and I realised it's because they are all taking pot shots at him. So when the assault unit gets destroyed, more enemies spawn in. Now, if he was still alive, that gate would be opening and we can go straight through. So ideally you want to keep him alive because it saves about 20 seconds, 30 seconds. While they're still uncertain. So Lee Roo spawns in, we've just got to kill him, kill his units, and then the gate opens, which is a bit of pain, but we still get it done. So with this game as well, when you're doing combos beyond 3rd attack, I think it is, you get locked onto a plane of movement, so you can't really turn like you can in the later games mid-combo. You're stuck in one direction, so it's important to try and line up perfectly central with any generals that you're fighting, just so you don't veer left or right, and particularly with Xiao Qiao, because she's got a short range and she's fast, if you're slightly to the left or slightly to the right in a combo, you'll just start veering off and your combo will just miss the enemy completely. So a couple of times you'll just see me doing short combos and dropping it, that's just to reposition. So get clipped by the enemy there, it is what it is. I mean, ultimately you want to jump attack through that, but whatever. So waiting for him to get up. Should have really followed through with death combo on the first one, but never did. Now that happens a lot where an enemy will, when they get to low health, they'll throw out their Musou, and especially when you're doing death combo. And what happened with Dongzhou then is perfect. So what you want them to throw out their Musou, then it clips you out the combo. You do a air recovery, which you just mash block. Hope that you touch the floor while they're still doing their Musou, and then you trigger yours and get into a weapon deadlock. And then what that means is you're both in a deadlock, you mash attack, and if you win, the enemy becomes open to attack for a couple of seconds, allowing you to just do a standard string of combos and finish it. So best case scenario, you do your death combo, get the enemy to less than 10% health, They pop the Musou, you pop yours, go into the weapon lock, and then you win the fight. It's the cleanest way to do any of these fights, particularly later on. So we got a good one there. The only downside with Xiaoqiao is her Musou is a bit awkward to do. So the first hits where she spins like the death combo is easy enough, but then the last two where she throws the fans out, it does long range damage, but not close range damage. So it can be a bit finicky. But other than that, 5 minutes on that map, that you can get that down to about 4.5, or get it less than 4.5. But it is what it is. Carry on anyway, because I know we can save time on the other maps. So next one's Battle of Chibi. This is straightforward. Just rush straight to Cao and beat them up. There are a few archers on the way, and there are quite a few pikemen on the boat. So you just got to be clever with manoeuvring around them. Or if you are cutting through them, cut through them where your troops are fighting them, just so you're less likely to get clipped. Other than that, pretty straightforward map. Always as well, if you're cutting through enemies, it's either don't move through them in a straight line or attack as you're moving through them, just so they don't, well, they're less likely to do a jump attack on you. Just because if you get knocked off your horse this early on and there's enemies around you, it can be finicky to get back on. Or if there are archers nearby shooting at you, you've got next to no chance to try and remount up. Like, so especially there, I was just being cautious of the archers coming off the boats and I got clipped on the wall by mistake, but other than that, no real issue. I mean, a second at most, but not really looking for a cutthroat run, just looking for something to get on the board. So with the minimap as well, you'll see me flicker back and forth between them. That's just whenever an event pings, it flashes on the map, but just falls a habit. If you go to the zoomed in map and then go back to full screen map, it removes that ping. I hate having the pings on the map, so I just keep it clean so I can see on the map where I'm going in case anything moves or spawns. So as you can see, missed the combo, best just to drop it, reposition and try again. So we reposition, get a clean combo. He doesn't do his Musou, then it's just a case of mash and square. Now, I throw the Musou out there mainly just to stop him from charging. So when you see those energy beams coming off a general, they're charging their Musou. And when it fills up, they will get a full Musou bar, but they also get healed for about 200-250 health. So the way you stop it, you just got to hit them. You've got about 3 seconds when you see those lines before they do it, so it's best just to get an attack on them to stop it. Otherwise, the fight's going to go on for longer. But luckily, we popped the Musou, managed to hit him, knock him back, and then we just repositioned and took him out for a nice quick run. So that was 144, that was pretty good for Chibi. So I'm not saving on these next couple of maps just because there's no real point. I'm not going for level runs and doing a full run. But I save at the end just to confirm the total time for all the stages, just to make sure it matches up with what I've typed in on the left of the screen. So this Mountain Bandit campaign, another mission that you can't really do in free mode, and a couple of characters have access to it in their Musou mode. It's same as the first one we did, you just got to ping a couple of lieutenant commanders, that causes the boss to spawn, and then we take him out. But it's one of those maps you can't really practice for short of doing a Musou mode, so do forget at one point where one of the lieutenant commanders is, but it's no real issue. It's the hitbox to mount on your horse is quite finicky, so failed there a couple of times, forgetting that the lieutenant commander was over here. Probably could have just ran to him, it would have been quicker, but it is what it is. I left my bodyguards on this map as well because I know on these maps there's not that many enemies, so it's fairly safe to keep them on. Also, if they get a lucky shot and kill a commander for you, then happy days, because for whatever reason, range damage in this game is broken, and crossbow and bow bodyguards will clean house and steal kills for you. So, missed a jump attack there, clip them with the second one, and then just waiting for them to combo. You can juggle them, so if you get them off the horse and get close to them quick enough, you can juggle them before it permanently sticks into the floor, and you've got to wait for him to stand back up, but didn't want to try for it. So the boss spawns around here somewhere, so I'm just waiting for him to pop in, and there he is. So it's just beat him down, and map done. Fairly straightforward map. I don't know why they give it as like a 4th staging, but I'm not going to complain, it's a nice quick map. So with this game as well, when you beat named officers or generals, they'll tend to drop one of 3 things. They'll either drop a attack up, a defense up, an item, or a weapon. But since we're max stats, well, max attack, max defense, we're not really collecting them. But as you get into the later stages, it goes from being a +1 attack up to a +2, +4 or +8. You can get items on certain maps as well to increase your health and your Musou gauge, but don't really need it. So fairly straightforward, not really much to say with that one. So just checking there where Cao was, because last few times I've been running this map it's been to kill Sun Quan. So just confirming he was in top left. So nice straightforward run to him. The only thing to watch out for on this one's archers. If they knock you off, then depending where you are, it's quicker just to run rather than try and remount, because the archers have the higher ground and they will always clip you as you try and get back on your horse. So just take the loss, sprint to the enemy and hope for the best. So it's this hill bit here, I think we get shot, and yeah, so we get shot off. There's no point, there's 2 generals, there's pikemen and there's crossbows. Just sprint up the hill, give it toes, because as soon as you try and get back on that horse, you will get hit again, guaranteed. So we just line up for a nice easy knock off, and then line up. So when you're lining up, if you hold block, you move with like more tank-like controls. Good thing to do as well is to look at the enemy and then walk backwards. That forces them to get parallel with you and start walking towards you. Also, they're less likely to block, so good little trick to do. Other than that, we just go with what we did before, pop a def combo, force him to do his Musou, we do ours, get a weapon lock, and then chip him down. Nice and easy. A lot of this as well, it's RNG as to whether the generals will block or not. They do block your attack. You do have some combos and some attacks which can break block, but it's quicker just to drop the combo, give it about half a second and then take another swing. Or you drop the combo, try and move around to like the left or the right side of the enemy and try and hit them side on, because for whatever reason they don't block when you're not directly parallel with them, so you can sometimes cheat a little attack like that. Or if you've got someone like Hulao who's got a wide reach and jump attack, a quick jump attack can get through them as well. So with this map, battle of, is this Yiling? Yeah, Yiling. So there's 2 ways you can go on this map, but it's been that long since I've done this one. I'm convinced what seems to be the shorter is a trap. So you'll see what I mean when it loads up the map now. So the quicker way, going through where it seems like there's no enemies on the map, that box down south, I'm fairly certain that's a forest, and when you enter it, ambushes pop in and you also lose your map. So rather than risk getting lost in there, I just take the safer option of going to the other gate, opening up the gate and going straight to the boss. So just dodge all these, stay to the far right side. Horse is fast enough that you'll dodge most jump attacks. So we just get hit, unfortunately, there by Yan, well, one of his soldiers, and then we're going towards Yan, but then I forgot the gate was this close, so miss a couple of hits on the horse. This is why you do not do any horse combat with Xiao Qiao, because it's terrible. Let me just DPS him down, nice and easy. Probably should have followed through on that combo there, but we live and learn.
Don't fall behind.
I had a little bit of a panic at this point because I was questioning whether beating him does open the gate, but then it does. So you just rush through here. You get ambushed, I think, as well. Yeah, there they are. So you get new reinforcements coming in, but not to worry about. Just rush the boss and take him out. So with this fight, Yiling decided to jump in. That could have been a bigger issue than what it becomes, because it's another person to pop off attacks and also pop off supers, but we deal with it. So I think at that point an enemy popped his Musou as well, but it's not to worry about. We get low health, so we just reposition, spot a meat bun, just take the safety option of Musouing for a meat bun. Because for whatever reason you can collect items when doing the Musou, but you can't when on your horse. Realised we didn't really need the meat bun. Liu Bei knows what's coming, so he tries to run away, but we just take him out. But even still, it was better safe than sorry. But as you've seen through that combo then, archers can break your attack combo. Another reason why they're a pain in the backside. But other than that, fairly fast. It could be quicker going through that forest, but I don't fancy running this level any more than I need to. Now on that screen then, it shows our attack and defense isn't maxed. As far as I'm aware, you can't get it any higher. That space that's left is for your things like the tiger amulet or items that you'd equip. Because in this game, when you get an item drop, the item that drops is random, but also the stats on it is random. So I think we've got a plus 19 tiger amulet, and I think the highest it goes to is either 20 or 40. So there is a bit of RNG involved with farming items on this. So last map, Nanman campaign, turn all the bodyguards off because this one does have a lot of enemies on and you've got elephants to deal with, so the less things on screen the quicker it is. Now with this map, right in front of us we've got Menguo. As far as I'm aware, you have to beat him here to get him to spawn at their main enemy camp. So I always just beat him here because for whatever reason as well, he's got less stats here. He has a lot less defense, he's fairly quick, so I just play it safe, take him out here, and then take him out again at the end of the map.
We will attack their spirits and make them submit.
I don't know if it's this game or another one, but one of the Nanman levels has poison, and I've got vivid memories of playing this when we were younger, and just that poison killing us. And because it might be this one or the fourth, but we used to always play it without a memory card. So getting this far was a miracle in itself, especially with no items starting a new game every single time. But then just remember going into the poison fields, getting taken out by the poison, having to start all over again. It was interesting. So just rush through these enemies, not too much to worry about. One of the easier final levels that we get. The only annoying thing on this is trying to knock someone off an elephant. But there's a easy way to deal with it, we just don't really do it. So dodge you wrong. She's the only other Nanman unit you can play as, short of Menquo. Run up to the top, and then we see Menquo on top of a horse. Now the problem is none of the characters can jump high enough to get to the horse, and you do have a bow and arrow equipped in this game, so you could try and aim and shoot, but the quickest way is just to let him charge with the horse and get hit, and then you do an air recovery which gets you high enough to knock him off. So just then it looks like I managed to knock him off the horse, but it either didn't knock him off or he just spawned on a second one. I don't think it was high enough to knock him off. So we get pushed in the corner here quite a bit, but then we get lucky, he hits us, and then as you can see you just do an air recovery and swing at him. That's the quickest way to knock anyone off the horse. Then it's just a case of lining up, getting a position in, try for a death combo, realise we don't need to death combo him because this Menquo has no defence whatsoever, then just hit him. He does try to do a Musou recovery and get healed, but we're too quick. We just beat him. And then with that, that is a Musou mode campaign complete. So with Xiao Qiao, she has 7 levels. I think most characters in this have 7 levels. There might be the odd one that has 8. But other than that, she's pretty quick to run her as. 2:35, that's an okay Nanman time. I mean, we could have got it better if we managed to knock him off the horse earlier, but other than that, total time of 17 minutes 32 seconds, that's pretty good. The save file here says it's a little bit less, but as far as I'm aware for this category you just add up the stage times. So the save time, it says we've got a 17 minutes 29, or we'll just go with 17:32. And other than that, yeah, that's a Musou mode 80%. Only things to note, as I say, just turn your bodyguards off, keep event mode off, and just leg it to the end. If anyone else does run this and does beat the time, then I'll do a better run, or I might find someone else to do it as, but other than that, yeah, let's move on to other Dynasty Warrior games.